Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. I've got an exciting WZ-111 gameplay here for you today. This is the event tank that's going around at the moment. Lots of people are grinding their backsides off to be able to earn this tank. And this replay is from Rajapace, who is Finnish. He is in the awesome RSOP community. An absolute hilarious bunch of guys, as you might have seen on my live streams, especially the recent charity event, which I was lucky enough to be able to go in and play in some more team battles with them. Now, Rajapace is going to be using the WZ-111's, one of its key strengths, and that's its top speed. As you can see, it's rather quick. It is scooting along at 35 to 40 kilometers an hour, and he's caught that Leopard prototype completely by surprise. How many of you guys hate attacking on Sand River because you feel that the enemy team have got an overwhelming advantage, usually because of the hill up there? Well, Rajapace is going to completely negate that advantage. And it looks like the enemy team want to try and stop him from doing so as they rush two Tier 8 heavy tanks right towards him. He puts in a good shot there into the Carnarvon's lower plate and manages to track him, holding him in place for his team, and he turns his armor to focus on the IS-3, which was a very good thing indeed, as he absorbed the shot there. The next thing he does is tracks the IS-3, doing a whopping 459 damage to him with his 122mm, and that allows him to... Oh, a low roll there, however, but luckily his hull armor bounces off the upper plate, allowing him to survive, and having already done 1,655 damage. Now, if I can catch my breath, that was an absolute onslaught. And Rajapace is gone into my favorite location when I'm attacking on this map. If I've got a tank that can go 40 kilometers an hour, I will always rush here. And that's because of what you just saw. You spot the enemy campers up on that hill. I always go there in my tank destroyers. No one ever comes here and spots me. And it allows you to dominate the ridgeline. It allows you to shoot across to this location of the map as well. And it also allows you to stop the enemy team from advancing around the corner. It's just such a powerful location. However, not when you've got a player like Rajapace on the enemy team. He's using also another key strength of the WZ-111, well, at least in comparison to a lot of the Soviet Tier 8 tanks, especially the IS-6, which a lot of people always ask, what's better, the 111, the 112, or the IS-6? Well, one thing that a lot of people forget about is that the Chinese Tier 8 premiums have got 380 meters view range. I'm pretty sure the IS-6, although I can't know for certain, wouldn't be able to spot all these targets. He's getting that Borsig crippled, he's forcing this IS-6 to leave the hill, and he is lighting up that T-69, and almost certainly his whole team, who have finally made it to the ridgeline, are going to be able to support him. Another Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger appears, sitting up on that ridge. Can Rajapace be able to get another spot on him? He asks his team, why don't you shoot? And I do agree with you. I know exactly how you feel when I'm sitting here giving people free targets on very thinly armored tanks such as T-69s and Borsigs. All of these guys could be lighting them up right now if they were just a little bolder and braver. Well, he's got to do it himself then, allowing the Tiger II to ammo rack the Tier 8 German tank destroyer. Definitely one of the most dangerous tanks on the enemy team. He manages to auto-aim down a little bit there on the T-69, taking him out as well. One thing you will have noticed there is that the gun depression on the 111 is not the best. And that's one of the worst things about the vehicle in comparison to the 112. The tanks are very similar. I'll go into the differences between them more in a second, because probably the main question you guys will be asking right now is this tank worth the grind? And I want to do a full tank review on it, but I've been really busy over Christmas. I haven't been able to get any footage that really is worthy of a tank review. But I digress. Let's focus on what Rajapace is doing here. He manages to put a good shot there into an IS-3 that rushed down below to try and counter his position. To go back to the gun depression that I was talking about, this tank, the 111, gets 75 degrees of gun depression. That is 1 degree less than the 112, which gets 6 degrees of gun depression. And that can give it a lot more flexibility to go hold down and use the awesome turret armor. The turret armor on the 111 and the 112 is brilliant if you can avoid the enemies from shooting in your cupolas. He's trying to bait a shot there from the IS-6, decides that it's not his position to be able to attack from, and flanks around. Another great thing about the 111 and the 112 compared to the IS-6 is the heat rounds it gets. Its heat rounds have got 250 millimeters of penetration. A lot better than the 217 millimeters of penetration that is on the IS-6. 250 is able to get through the lower plates of an E-75, and 217, it's really not enough unless you literally are aiming up into his lower plate. Wow, that is a very lucky Borsig. He rolled for 318 there, practically a min roll for this tank, leaving the Tier 8 German tank destroyer on a very low amount of health. And Rajapace sees his opportunity, shoots into the IS-6, ram kills the Borsig. What a play! And now, importantly, hides his lower plate on the wreck that he just created. Aims for the top of the IS-6, he can't decide where, so he just slams a shell in through the cheek armor of the Tier 8 Soviet heavy tank. A very fitting end indeed, considering the main question that everyone wants to know. What's better, the 111, the 112, or the IS-6? Rajapace, thank you so much for this replay. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And finally, someone has sent me a worthy WZ-111 gameplay. I loved seeing your early aggressive play and dominating that ridge line, spotting the enemies that usually camp up here, and allowing your team to absolutely dominate this game, picking up a Top Gun medal. Let's just take a very quick look at the post-game stats, and then we'll have a little bit of discussion. Just a brief one about, is the 111 worth it? Holy mother of credits and experience! What a result here. 185,000 credits, giving him 155,000 credits pure profit in one game, as well as 2,002 base experience during a 5 times event, giving him 15,315 experience in a Tier 8 tank. What an absolutely ridiculous result. Rajapace managed to get a high caliber and a Top Gun, and he must have done something more than 4,400 damage to be able to achieve this. And yep, that's right, he did about 4,500 total assistance damage, 3,700 spotting, and 870 upon detracting that IS-3. His armor held up pretty well here, only 2 shots penetrated his tank, and he bounced 1,200, giving him a potential damage received of 2,000. The armor on the 111 is fantastic as long as you can hide weak points to the lower plate and the cupolas. And a result like this just wouldn't have been achievable in an IS-6. You wouldn't have had the top speed required to race into position, and you most likely wouldn't have had the view range to be able to spot all those targets up on the hill and simply dominate the game. This battle didn't even last 7 minutes. This has to be the fastest I think I've ever seen anyone earn this kind of credits without some kind of special event going on. And that's what the Chinese premium heavy tanks are good for, just that raw power, aggression, and just having the all-round solid statistics to be able to work in most situations. However, is this tank worth the effort? To be able to get a WZ-111, you will have to get 150,000 points of damage and 150 kills inside every nation of tanks. Soviet tanks, German tanks, American tanks, French, British, Chinese, and Japanese. In total, that is going to be 1,050,000 damage before the morning of the 19th of January. It is also going to be 1,050 tanks destroyed. Now for me, I average about 1 3/4 kills per game. And during one of my 5-hour streams, I'm likely to play about 40 games. So that's going to be 40 battles times by 1.75, 70 kills in 5 hours. So it's going to take me 1,050 kills divided by 70, 15 times by 5. It's going to take me 75 hours if I want to do this event. That is a week of playing 12 hours a day. Or, if you spread it out over the month, 3 to 4 hours a day. You could get a 112 or an IS-6 for £29. And the 112 is going to do pretty much exactly the same job that your 111 will. So what you need to decide is if that £30 is worth 75 hours of your life, especially over this holiday period, which a lot of us are spending it with our friends and family. Nevertheless, Wargaming have put in features for you to be able to skip parts of the grind. If, for example, you have no interest in playing Japanese tanks, then you can invest £7.79 in skipping that 150,000 damage and 150 kills that you would have to do in Japanese tanks. But let's say you wanted to skip all of them. Well, that's going to be 7.79 times by 7, right? £54.53 to be able to get the WZ-111. But hold on, didn't we just say that you can get a 112 that is pretty much the same tank for less than £30? You are paying a hefty premium to be able to have a very novel tank, a 111, which has never been on sale before, and there's no guarantee that it will ever be on sale again. And if we quickly use tank compare to contrast between these two vehicles in question, we can see that the 111 has slightly more hit points, it's slightly faster with regards to its top speed limit, however it has worse engine power, although marginally better ground resistances, so this will at least make up for some of that difference. The rate of fire is slightly better, but the gun depression, as we mentioned earlier, is worse. It's pretty much all the same kind of thing with very marginal differences. So my advice to you is, unless you're an extreme tank collector, that the 112 is by far a better deal. And I would only recommend using these mission tokens to skip parts of the challenge. If you do at least 4 to 5 of the nation challenges, and you just need the last 2 maybe to be able to get this novel vehicle. So I hope that was useful to you. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And if you want to see a video on the alternative tank, the 112, making a shed load of credits, then simply click up here and you can go through to that video. And let me know in the comments down below what you think about the 111 versus the 112 versus the IS-6. And what do you think about this whole special missions event? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you think this tank is overpriced? Let me know what you guys think. And I wish you all the best of luck if you're grinding your way to the 111. Anyway guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.